Hey, hey, hey. Good evening. Good evening. Good evening. Welcome. Hope everybody's doing amazing. I know that I am. I'm excited to be here with you. Just so that you know, and for those who, whether this is your first or your 500th time with us, I just want to welcome you. I want to say hi, hello to everyone that supports us. Hello to all the replay viewers. I hope everyone is doing well. Just so that I introduce myself, I want you to know I am Sharonda Lynn. I am a digital branding specialist for entrepreneurs, businesses, and nonprofits. I create dynamic demand for your between your target market and your brand by optimizing websites for maximum and profitable engagement. I love social media, and that's what we are talking about today. We're talking about social media 101, the do's and the don'ts, the great points, the lows, the top five. We're talking about it all, and this is all for beginners, and even this is good stuff to remember if you've been doing it for a while. Sometimes we do stuff for a long time and we get into bad habits. I don't want to be the cultivator of bad habits. I want to be the one that's showing you how to get it done and how to get it done well, right? I am also known as a professional geek, right? I'm a nerd. I've been nerdy all of my life, and now I'm a professional nerd. It is my job to take you from one point to the other. So if we could cue the slides, we are doing social media one-on-one. One-on-one. Why did I say that? 101. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Social media 101. Let me just make sure I am where I'm saying yes. There we go. Social media 101. So last week we talked about the big five, right? There I put four, but it's really the big five. We're talking Facebook, we're talking Instagram, we're talking YouTube, we're talking LinkedIn, we're talking Twitter. Five. There's big five. So those are the major players today in the social media world. Then you have some coming up. You have Snapchat, you have TikTok, and you have loads of other ones that are out there. The video ones are in my head and I can't even think of what it's called. But you have also Marco Polo. You have so many different things that you can use to further your social media agenda. But we talked about that last time, our last show, which was I think on the 26th, and now we're going to walk out the last of the six. We're six more, so we have seven altogether. Today we're going to talk about common social media mistakes, right? Stuff that we do that sometimes just makes us look dumb, right? I hate to say it that way, but you know, you look not professional, or you look like you don't know what you're doing. And these are some of the things we're going to go over, some of the things that happen. And if you find that you're doing some of this stuff, the best thing you can do is just stop and transition into a better practice, because that's what we're here about. We're trying to make you better. We're trying to make sure that you meet your agenda, you sell your products, your services, that you reach your ministries. We want to be sure that if you're in a nonprofit, you meet you get in front of the right audience. These are all things we're going to be talking about, right? So today, in talking about common mistakes, we want to talk about the things that doesn't make you shine so nicely, the things that doesn't make you look like you are professional. You know what I'm talking about. And I'm sure if you can think of some of those things, drop it in the chat. Drop that in the chat for me, because I can't see the chat right now, but everything that you post, I'm going to go back and I'm going to look at it and I'm going to answer your questions. So yes, if you have questions, let's save it for the end, and I'll come back and read off and see if you have any questions, or if you have comments, just answer, because I feel like we can do this as a conversation, right? So if you know of some common social media mistakes, why don't you drop them below while I go through and see if you if you either know that you're doing something like this, know someone that's doing this, or it's something that you used to do, or maybe it's new to you and you just don't want to walk down that path. Whatever it is, these are time-tested things that you want to avoid. So we're going to jump right in. Hey, and remember, stop for a moment, like and share. Please like and share this. So, number one, talking at your customers, not with your customers. Does anybody really know what that means? Talking at your customers, but not with your customers. In other words, you're pushing out a bunch of information about your products, your services, who you are, your website, blogs you just posted, and you keep posting that stuff out there, but you don't ask for your audience to contribute or to provide feedback. See, social media is interactive, right? It's interactive. It is an ongoing conversation between you and your target market. So you have to be very, very aware that when you post something out there, you need to interact and talk to your customers. That's something that a lot of people forget to do. You put something out there, people comment, they ask questions, and you don't get back to them. That is a no-no. That's the surest way to get people to stop following you. Why is somebody going to follow you and you're not engaging with them? We have to engage, build that online relationship so that we can get in front of them and say what we want and let them receive it, right? Right. So number two is not responding. Again, this goes in hand with number one, not responding to comments or questions. Why would you follow somebody who wasn't responding? Now, I have to say this, that when you have a very large audience, it is hard to respond to everybody. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's hard. But what you do want to do is respond to as many as you can. Show that you hit that page. Show that you're being interactive. If you have a team, your team can do it. You won't even have to do it. Whatever that is for you. I know that in ministries, sometimes it's easy to have a team. But when you're an entrepreneur and you're the only one, you have to do it from the muscle, right? So you want to be able and aware that this is going on and able to answer these people, because you want to grow your influence. You want to sell a lot of products. You want to make $1 million. I get that. You have to build relationship and build rapport. You have to monitor your page. Number 3, monitor your page. You don't want spammers from all over the world spamming your page and you not removing it. When we used to be on Periscope, we used to talk about the block ministry. You go ahead and troll me if you want to, but I can always block you so that you can't say anything else to me. You can't see when I go live. You can't see anything that I'm doing. Sometimes you've got to do that, right? We got to work with that block ministry. But if you're not monitoring your page, you don't know who these offenders are. You don't know who's sitting out there and using your page as a scamming tool. So lock it down. Make sure you monitor your page. Make sure you look at everything that is posted on it. On my page, you can't just post on my page. I don't allow people to post on my page. That is an option that you have within Facebook when you have a professional page. I do not allow people to post on my page. And I make sure that I remove scammers. If I can identify you clearly as a scammer, you're trolling me, I don't have to have you I don't even have to deal with you, right? Why even give yourself that headache of consistently dealing with someone who's not respecting your time, not respecting your resources, and not respecting what you're trying to do through your brand, through your business, through your nonprofit, whatever it is, through your ministry, whatever that is. People have to respect you. And the way you do that is continuously monitor your page. Make sure that they're not going outside of Going outside of what you deem appropriate. That's really what that is. Now, I don't know if you knew this, and I'm going to say this is going to be number 4. I don't know if you knew this, but there's a setting on your Facebook page that allows you to post to Twitter and let it flow automatically to Facebook, or you can have it flow up. I used to look at it as down and up, like upstream, downstream. So then, or you can have it go from Facebook back up to Twitter, right? It's an evolving door. The problem with that, you don't want to do that. If you have that set right now, take it off. Has anybody ever done that? You know who's done it? That was one of my bloopers I used to do all the time. I'm telling you, if I wanted to, because the tools that we had back then weren't the tools that we have now. There wasn't a lot of free stuff. Everything was paid for, and it was a high price. We had to figure out how we were going to post on these big 5. We had to figure out how we were going to be consistent. So what we would do is we would create that flow from Facebook to Twitter, Twitter to Facebook, not meaning any harm. But what happens is when you do that, then that's showing your followers that you really don't care enough about them to create, unique updates for them. What if they're following you on Twitter and Facebook? Then they're looking at you like, why is this all the same? Why do I need to follow her at all? She's doing the same thing on every platform, right? We don't want to do that. We don't even want to be known for that. Now, number 5, writing long posts. Okay, that get cut off. Twitter is like what, 240 characters? Facebook is 5,000. Instagram is, I think, close to 5,000. If you write a post and it's outside of the limits of that particular platform, people are not going to, they're going to be like, where's the rest? You know how it is. You get somebody going and you're like, wait, what happened? What happened? The other thing is, I want you to know it's okay to write a long post. I just wrote a long post and it was a testimony. I have my legs swell, and I wrote this long post because I felt I needed to tell the testimony for somebody. Somebody needed me to say what I said, and I made a long post. But it's okay to do a long post. Some people say, oh, your post really shouldn't be that long. If you have a purpose, like you're trying to tell a testimony, you're trying to help somebody, be very succinct, but make sure you are within the boundaries of that platform. Make sure you're not on Twitter trying to post 5,000 characters when it only takes 240. Make sure that you're looking at what type of platform you're on and looking at exactly what your target market looks like so that you can resonate with them. Number 6. How many of you out there is liking your own post? Be honest. How many of you are out there liking your own post? Let me put up my hand. Right? You're like, oh my gosh, she's telling us not to do it and she does it. Listen, I like my post because some of the time when I say stuff, I'm really talking to me and I'm not talking to you. That's something totally different. But a lot of times people look at you differently when you like your own post. Like why do you have to like your post? They're instantly judging you. I promise you. If they come back through and they see that you liked your post, it's like, why are you liking your post? They're thinking that you think that nobody else is going to like it, so you like it, and then they don't want to like it because you've liked it. We got to be careful. I mean, this is some little etiquette stuff, but this is all stuff that will either make you shine or make you look like, you don't know what you're doing, and you don't want to be out here in these social media streets not knowing what you're doing, right? So the next thing I want to talk to you about is if you have a Facebook page, right? And these, again, we're talking about do's and don'ts of social media, common social media mistakes. Listen, like and share. If this is blessing you, please like and share. But we're talking about common social media mistakes. How about you get a Facebook page and you don't create a custom URL? Now, if you don't know what a custom URL is, put one in the chat. Just put one in the chat. Do you know what a custom URL is? If you don't know, put one in the chat. Now, listen, I'm going to tell you what it is anyway. This is the first rule of Facebook. This is also branding 101. Let me tell you a little bit about custom URLs. Your custom URL, if you coming from my viewpoint, should all look the same. So I'm Ask Sharonda Lynn on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, you name it, the big five, I'm Ask Sharonda Lynn, except for YouTube. But for the most part, I'm Ask Sharonda Lynn all over the place. As a matter of fact, I think I am Ask Sharonda Lynn. I have to go back and check, because when Google Plus was out and about and it was raging, you could go in and change that. And I did change it, but I don't know how they transitioned it afterwards, because I haven't been concentrating on YouTube. But getting yourself a custom URL says your name is facebook.com/Ask Sharonda Lynn. It is the particular URL that somebody can enter in a browser and find you. Find your brand, find your products. That's what it is. It is a custom URL. And when you get a Facebook page, they allow you to configure that immediately. So you know how, and on Instagram, you have at whatever. If you go Instagram.com/ and that whatever part, which is Ask Sharonda Lynn for me, it's going to take you directly to your Instagram not your personal or your business, kind of like your home page where you see an overview or your about page in Instagram. It takes you there, right? So you have to, so I say that to say, when you have something like Ask Sharonda Lynn, so see, what I do is I do Ask Sharonda Lynn on Facebook, on all the platforms. But then my website is ask.sharonda Lynn. It is Sharonda Lynn, but you should also be able to type ask.sharonda Lynn. I'm in transition, so if you try it, it might not go through. But if you go to SharondaLynn.com, it'll go through. But I'm just telling you, if you go ask.SharondaLynn.com, that's going to follow my custom URL on all of those platforms. You don't want, you have Ask Sharonda Lynn on Facebook, then you have Superman on Twitter, and then you have that great girl on Instagram, and then you have something else. You don't want that. That is very confusing, and it makes it very hard to track you down. It means that I have to have your business card. I have to have your stuff in front of me at all times so that I can pick that stuff out, right? Woohoo! Excuse me, so that I can pick that stuff out. So if you have a Facebook page, make sure your Facebook page identifies with who you are, however you're doing your brand. If it's Ask Sharonda Lynn, that's me. If it's CS Belly, that's CS Belly. If it is She Is Still Dope, then it's She Is Still Dope. But it should be like that, or very, very close to that on all your platforms. You want to try to get as close as possible. All right? So listen, the other thing you want to watch for when you're doing social media is posting one thing right after another. You have 5 posts to do today, and you do it at 9 o'clock, 9:15, 9:30, 9:45, 10 o'clock. Like you're going right around the merry-go-round, and it's hitting everybody like this. You know, people really don't want to see us that much. They want to see us, but it can be a bit overwhelming when you do post after post after post after post. Make sure you space it out and give people the opportunity to respond, right? To engage with you. So here's something I want to take you to. So when I first got started back in 1998, all this stuff wasn't there. We were all figuring it out, right? By the time 2010 came, everybody was just trickling in and getting in on the internet. By 2013, the thing to do was to post every hour and post like seven posts a day. It was unreal. But that was the only way that you would get in front of enough people. The way the Facebook algorithm was, you had to post like that every day, 7 times a day. I lost some people because I used to post that much, but it literally wasn't a lot of people. And y'all forgive me. I drink a gallon of water a day, and I drunk like enough, but I'm thirsty. 1 second. Are there any questions? I can stop right here and answer any questions at all. I'm going to go back, and because I can't see you right now, but I want to go back. All right. Hi, Miss Kimberly. Hi, Miss Cherie. Okay, so I'm going to go back and we're going to rock this thing out. So listen, the other thing, you know how you get into, and I'm going to combine these two, but you know how you get, how you see ads go on for, marketing strategies for, I'm looking at mayors and for politicians. That's what I'm looking at. For politicians, they can start slinging all kinds of mud, right? They'll dig into somebody's past. They'll tell them about how they did something 20 years ago and how that's relevant 20 years later, right? They'll make us believe it. And nobody's the same person they were 20 years ago, but they'll come talking smack and talking negatively about your competition is super bad. It's super bad on social media. And I know that it has been a common thing, especially in the gospel world. Of all places, can I be real about that? Why are we the ones to say, talk about another evangelist, another pastor, another bishop, apostle, a teacher? You know, that's why people talked about Jesus. That's you got to expect it. However, you don't want to be the one slinging mud. That's not what we do. The best way you can deal with your competition is be the best person that you can be the best brand that you can be. You don't have to talk about what somebody else does. Because the honest to God thing is, when you talk smack about your competition, you're only talking smack about the forward facing part of that competition. You can only see forward facing. Even if you had some direct interaction with them, it's only what you saw that you can comment on, or what somebody else saw. But isn't there more than one side to you? Isn't there more than one side to me? I could be talking to you over here, and when I talk to somebody else over here, there's a whole nother side that you don't even interact with. You don't know why I made that decision. You don't know why I cut off that brand. You don't know why I fired all those people. You don't know. You just don't know. So we want to zip it, right? There's no reason to talk about anybody. You know what? God said he would do what? He would make room for you. He didn't tell you to make room for yourself. He said he would make room for you. Bring your talents. Bring your talent to the altar. Bring your gift to the altar. Bring your ministry to the altar. Begin to do what God told you to do, and he will make room for you. You ain't got to worry about how somebody else is doing it. They're not doing it right. Well, I do it this way. Well, we're glad you do it that way. That's why we're listening to you. You need to attract the audience, right? That is in front of you, that makes you, that you can minister to, that you can sell to, that you can create a bond with and engage with. The other part of that is when people give you negative comments, don't respond. The outcome of that negative comment, I shouldn't say don't respond. There's a way to respond to negative comments, and that's with love and positivity. Before Miss Tabitha Brown, hey, Auntie Tab, came back on Wendy Williams, Wendy Williams was used to people coming back and being catty, right? So then she could come back and say something else. Excuse me. And it could be something that was going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But Auntie Tab shut her down. And Auntie Tab shut her down with love and a soft word. She didn't cuss her out. She didn't do any of that we as Black women or any kind of woman in her position would have been like, oh no, I'm gonna tell you off. You don't talk about how did you put my name in your mouth anyway? What did I do to you? And Tab went back, and when she talked about it, she didn't come back. She didn't fight negativity with negativity. She fought negativity with love. She fought negatively with love. Now, I did see somebody else, and I'm not even going to mention their name because they're irrelevant, but I did see somebody else who didn't like Tab's response. They thought she was being passive aggressive because they wanted to see her come back and say what was really on her mind. I want to remind you that everybody has their way of responding. Your response might be a no response. Right? Remember I said you didn't have to respond at all. And then your response could be a very positive, love-filled response that you could say, you could respond back and then you can cut it. There's no reason to go back and forth. You can also just say thank you for the feedback. Thank you for your feedback and let it go. We so busy. We want to have the last word. I got to have the last word. I used to be just like that. Now, I will come back and then I'll say whatever I have to say. And then I'll say, hey, listen, I just disagree. And I understand your viewpoint. Thank you so much. I like dialogue. It doesn't threaten me. So I'm talking back and forth to people, even if I don't like it. I don't agree. I just want to get out what I say. I'm going to listen to what they say. And if we can't come and meet with some middle ground, I say, well, thank you so much for this conversation. I just did it yesterday. Now, moving past that, when you get your Facebook page, it is imperative that you fill out information, location, description, because when you do that, all the information is there for somebody to look for your business. And Facebook takes all that into accountability when they start putting you out there. Are they going to put somebody out there? Facebook's not going to put somebody out there who continuously has nothing there. No, they don't know who you are. But if you show that you have filled in all this great information, then Facebook's going to put you out there. Make sure you're not just promoting yourself on your Facebook page. My God, I see so many of you, and I'm not saying it's everybody, but I see so many of you so focused on what you're selling, what your platform is. You're so focused on making that dollar or making that impact that you don't share nothing else. You make it all about you. You make it all about you. And that can be very, very, very detrimental because people look for a variety of information. Yeah, they're there for you, but they're also there for what you can lead them to. Is there another ministry, another business doing similar things or has a tie-in to your business? So say you're selling medical products, right? And you're selling a pump for your leg, a lymphatic pump. I'm going to use that because that's what I use. So say you're selling a lymphatic pump, but you have a friend that's selling medical pillows that they can put under the feet of people that need them to, be elevated. Share that to your page. That does nothing but show that you are knowledgeable about the needs of the people who need your brand, right? You're selling makeup. You got all this beautiful makeup, eyeliners, lipsticks. You have nail polishes, Okay, then who has the remover? Who has the other part of that skincare that smooths out your face, that fills in the pores? Those are things that need to go on your page, not just you. Just remember that, not just you. If you look on my page, I have shared my recipes, and I go through and I just shared something. I love to bake. I'm a baker. I don't get much time baking, but my pies are legendary. I'm telling you right now, if I have to make you a pie, you will be calling me to make you a pie all the time. I just love to bake, and I'm not real bougie with it. I make whatever I make. I just make sure it tastes well. I'm a chemist at heart, right? I went to school for environmental chemical engineering. And so I have a chemical mind. I did go for environmental too, but I have a chemical mind. So I'm going to put together stuff. I love to bake, but I don't just get up there and put up stuff that I do. I just put up something of all these creative ways to make pie crust. You know, the crust that cover the pie. Oh my gosh. It was so cute. I figured I would share that to my page because that's an interest of mine. As I clear out my page, I'm sure I won't be doing that as much, but as I should say, as I get more focused. But for right now, for what my page is just a hub of information. It fits right in. I'm not talking just about myself. All right, I'm going to go through the rest of these pretty quickly. How about promoting yourself? Oh, I just did that. Only promoting yourself. Sorry. Spelling errors. Ooh. This is a good one. If you have so many spelling errors, people, we get tired of spelling errors, and I do it. I am a fast typer. Jesus. I am known for putting instead of THE is TGE. Instead of your, I'm putting YOU. Instead of TWO, I'm lightly hitting the W, but hitting the O. Y'all know, those are things that help, that really hurt your brand. It can hurt it. A lot of typos, like once or twice, it's okay. But you have to check for common spelling mistakes. The there, you, your, right? All of those ways of different spelling. I just said it 3 times, but those of you that know is THY apostrophe RE, THERE, THEIR. So those are the 3. When do you use them? When do you use them? That's what you have to figure. That's what you have to go back and check. And let me tell you this, it will mess up your credibility. Now, I suggest if you can go back and change it. There's only one time that I would not go back and change it. And that's if you have Facebook ads and your ad is getting traction and you see a typo on the graphic or in the wording because it's getting traction. You don't want to lose that traction. So that's one of the times that I would not go back and change it. But if it's like on your page, it's just something on your page, go back and change it. It don't cost you nothing to go back and edit that post, right? Go back and edit it so that you can look who the part that you're supposed to be playing, so that your account, your professionalism is showing through. So that I'm trying to see, so that you show to yourself to be an authority. So that people understand your page's credibility, right? So those are times. So if you're doing that a lot and you know you do that, I do it all the time. If you're on your cell phone, I use the Grammarly keyboard, GRAMMARLY. It will catch 85 to 90% of my stuff. Because sometimes I think it forgets what to use and what there to use. But for the most part, I catch it. Or I go back and I read it and I see it and I catch it again. I will change it. Be careful. How many of you like people yelling at you all day? You want to sit there and hear people yelling at you all day. Well, neither does your followers. caps, exclamation points, those are all very directed and very boisterous way of talking. And when that comes through on your, like some people just like to type in all caps, that's like you're yelling at me. I can't even read all caps. I can't. Somebody help me. I can't read all caps. Soon as I see all caps, my eyebrows go up. I'm trying to figure out, are they yelling at me on purpose? What in the heck? And I used to school people all the time because it would irritate me so bad. But don't yell. Do not use all caps unless you need some kind of maximum impact. When I'm trying to say a specific word and I want it to leap out, I use all caps. I don't use all caps for everything. I know that it's yelling and that's irritating to other people. So so let me see. Let's go. Okay, make sure when you do your post on your page that it's not just your family and friends that are responding. Make sure you see other people responding. You want to keep your customers engaged. How about this? Your family and friends aren't your real customers. Yep, they're not. They're not your real customers. Your family and friends are not your real church followers. Your family and friends are exactly who they are, family and friends. They're not the ones that are supposed to keep you afloat. They can encourage you. They will occasionally buy your product, but you cannot make a living off of just your family and friends. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. You're going to have to come out of your comfort zone and engage with everybody. Don't just engage with your family and friends. Ask them to invite people you ain't never seen and never known. You have to get a diverse page. All right. This is my all-time pet peeve. And I think that I am going, I'll do one more after that. Your picture, your graphic, the thing that you want people to be attracted to your post cannot be blurry. It cannot be crappy. It cannot have typos. It cannot have all that stuff. That graphic is supposed to grab positive attention, laughter, or unless you wanted it to do anger, whatever it is, that's what it's supposed to do. It is not supposed to misrepresent your brand, right? Don't have a blur. Listen, go to Canva, canva.com, learn Photoshop. There's other graphic platforms out there. Use them because they will allow you to make a post fairly clean. Listen, I publish books, right? I'm a book publisher. I don't really say that a lot. I'm getting ready to come out with that, but I'm a book publisher. Part of my client's job is to develop graphics to post. I could do them myself, but that's not what she wanted me for. So I guide her in that process, and I will tell her, yes, she could use this, or no, you can't use it, because what image are you trying to portray? You have me as your graphic artist for your book. I'm doing your typesetting. Everything in that area is going to be professionally done. Say you have this very professional product, and what you post on the webs on social media does not represent that product. Your colors is off. You're typing like a scary story, and you're trying to preach about Jesus. Come on. Get your graphics together. Get them together, folks. That's my pet peeve. And if I see you with something that ain't right, I'm not talking about the jokes, the memes. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about when you're posting on your page and your page is attached to your brand. I'm not talking about your personal page, even though that could also be a part of your brand. I am more concerned with the pictures you put up that are of you, that you want to label as part of your brand, that kind of thing. Because there are some places where crazy looking memes are funny and they add to your posting and your brand and your social media presence. But when it comes down to you representing who you are, whether it is Jesus, whether it is a nonprofit, whether you are the entrepreneur girl, whether you are a tech girl, it all matters. When you look at our promo for me, when she is still dope, you look at our promo for me, we were very specific in putting stuff that was technically attached on that flyer. I made sure that it looked like a little network on there because that's who I am. That's my brand. I'm a professional geek, right? I'm a digital branding specialist. I am in this thing day in and day out. I have to represent my brand. If it comes out blurry, take it down. Put something else there. I'm telling you, you will love me for that. You will love me for that. The last thing I want to talk about is your message. Stop trying to make your message for everybody. We have a target market on purpose. We have target clients on purpose. Stop trying to talk like everybody like your product is for everybody. Case in point, I do website design. I do graphic arts, right? You would think my stuff is for everybody. I would say, hey, it is for everybody. But when I talk, I don't talk to everybody. I talk to people who are just starting out their business. I talk to people who are in a nonprofit situation. I talk to people who are entrepreneurs who need help in certain areas. When I say my language, it is going against those lines. I'm not talking to a teacher. Hello? I'm not talking to somebody with PhDs. So I have to make sure that I'm not using lingo that my people would not be able to understand. I'm not going to use a 25-cent word, and I can use expeditiously all day long. Not that people don't know it, but I'm just saying the length of the word. I can use words like that all day long. I'm well read and my vocabulary is above average. But when I sit down and I talk to the people that are in my target market, I better not be talking like I'm Dr. Sharonda, because that's going to go over a whole lot of people's heads. Who are you talking to? That's why your target market is super, super, super important to find. Is it better? Let me give you this one example, right? When you're talking to everybody, think of it as an ocean. You have an ocean full of fish, and you have an ocean full of fish that take different bait, right? You want the biggest fish. So you just select any old kind of bait because you feel like all of them like this bait. When the truth of the matter is, some of those fish don't like worms. Some of those fish don't like some of the tackles that you use, right? So when you throw it in there, you are only going to be catching the fish that's attracted to that tackle, right? Everybody's not going to come for it. So talk to the fish that's attracted to your tackle. Talk to the fish that's attracted to that worm. Talk to them. When you're talking about health issues, like I have lymphedema, you're not just going to talk about lymphedema all day. You're going to talk about how it makes you tired. You're going to talk about how having it is affecting your social persona. You're going to talk about how you feel less than, and how it messes with your psychological, that you feel the need to hide parts of your body all year round. You're going to be talking about all that, including lymphedema. including your subject. So you have to start talking. When you talk to your clients, you're not just talking to them about that cell phone you're selling. You're talking to them about how the cell phone connects. You're talking to them about what makes the brand great and why it's great and the benefits to them. You're going to be talking benefits, not features. When you think about talking to your audience, talk to the benefits and not the features, not the benefits of just having this, but the benefits that it will be for the people that get it. You're talking Christianity, the benefits of having Jesus sells. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's going to sell a lot of people. Instead of sitting here I don't know. It's a pet peeve, but I don't know. But instead of talking about just prophecy, because prophecy is going to it's talking to some of the prophecies, talk to feelings, right? It makes you feel good. But Jesus is good, and he's the cause of the good feeling. So if we focus in on what he's done, all those things, the prophecy, all the signs and the wonders, they come. The miracles, the signs, the wonders, they come right with that. You can't talk about Jesus and not talk about miracles. But if you can talk about miracles all day and never mention Jesus. So you have to be careful of how you talk. The tackle that you put out there, you cast on the line, that tackle and that bait. What is that for your brand, right? What is that for your brand? So listen, that was our common social media mistakes. Those are the things that we were talking about. I want to say, are there any questions? Does anyone have any questions? I don't think so. All right. So listen, next week, we're going to be talking about getting started on Instagram. Woo! We're talking about getting started on one of the big 5. Getting started on Instagram, what that should look like for you, some of the things that we're going to go through and talk about, and we're going to make sure that you have your stuff set up right, okay? So listen, please like and share. Please follow She Is Still Dope TV, and you can find me. You can definitely find me at Ask Sharonda Lynn on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, on all of them, y'all. All right. I love you. Take care. Have an amazing day, guys.